Hello, welcome to the Millionaire Woman Show, where we'll be discussing leadership, business, and human potential, inspiring you to live rich from the inside out. Unlock your creativity, stretch out of your comfort zone, break through your barriers, take inspired action, and achieve epic results. Now, here's your host, two-time best-selling author, speaker, and certified executive coach, Deborah Kasowski.
Well, hello there, everyone, and welcome to episode 88, where I'm going to talk to you about building trust within a team. But before I get started, I want to thank all of you for listening. Our Millionaire Woman Show has continuously, since we started in July of 2016, it has continually rose higher and higher. The downloads, it's exponential, and we are so grateful for you listening as well as sharing this with your friends. Because what happens is when you take the principles of leadership, business, and human potential, you never know where it's going to take you. But what I do know for sure, it's going to tap into your capabilities, help you step into your potential, but definitely help you step out of your comfort zone. So back to episode 88, building trust within a team. Colin Powell said, trust is the glue that holds people together, and it's the lubricant that keeps organizations moving forward. There are a variety of definitions about trust in the dictionary. What it basically comes down to, it's the belief that you are confident and you feel assured that in a situation or with a person, a sense of security, that feeling of, I got your back. Trust within a team starts with a leader. And as a leader, you must lead by example. And sometimes the leader could be the problem when it comes to trust. And sometimes it's within the members of a team or the dynamics between the team leader and a team member. To develop a high-performing team, there must be trust amongst the members of the team, as well as with the leader. Trust is the foundation of any winning team. It creates an environment where team members can share their thoughts, their concerns, and if they even can challenge the thoughts of a leader or team members, because it's a safe place. A diversity of ideas and opinions can be a benefit to achieving the results as you're getting these different perspectives, and they're really going to help you shift your thinking. When there is trust, a team will collaborate, they'll cooperate, and they're going to work toward that common goal. When new team members or new teams are formed or new team members join in, it's easy to believe that team members will just trust each other by default. And it's been my experience that's not always the case. This belief is not always the case, and I know this for a fact. But you need to remember that team members come with past knowledge. They have experience, skills, and abilities. And it can be hard for new people to trust new team members if they've experienced some form of betrayal, if they've experienced a traumatic event where their trust was taken away. They had teammates that didn't follow through on a deadline, and sometimes that reflected on how they show up. And also, if people don't follow through on those commitments, and they've been disappointed by a team member because they didn't meet their standards. And that can be frustrating, but what we do need to do is acknowledge those skills and abilities that people come with, because what they need is their voice to be heard again. Stephen Covey said that trust is the glue of life. It's the most essential ingredient in effective communication. It's foundational principles that holds all relationships. And it's not until this moment, as I say these quotes, again, that I realize that you hear the words trust and glue. Trust is the glue. It's the foundation. It's the basis of everything. Whether it be in a business relationship, it can also be reflective in your personal relationships as well. Open communication is imperative. Patrick Lencioni addressed the absence of trust as one of the dysfunctions in a team. To build trust within a team, you must seek to understand the perceptions the assumptions and opinions of other members. Be curious, like a learner. Set aside any judgments, assumptions, or biases that you have that can cloud your discoveries. And what I want you to do is, when you're working with your teams, is that the main assumption should be that everyone is coming to the table with positive intent to do good work. There is what they call a common trust, which we assume when someone comes to a team that they're not going to steal or damage property. They're going to take responsibility for their things. That's a common trust. But Lencioni discusses vulnerability-based trust in his book, The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. And vulnerability-based trust is when you feel like you can share your strengths, your forthcomings with your team, take a risk, ask for help, and even make mistakes. When you are in a team built on this kind of trust, there's a circle of safety. You feel like you belong and you're comfortable to share your ideas and concerns. This is ideal. Establishing ground rules and having an open discussion about what trust looks like to each team member and group is beneficial. And what I've learned when I've done this is sometimes at first people are afraid to say something, but as they get started, people become more open to share when they see others sharing, and that they're vulnerable, that they have the courage to be vulnerable with these members of the team. And ground rules are, the example of some ground rules are like no blaming, no complaining, no finger pointing, to help members take personal accountability, and no gossiping, to help ensure that no cliques form. Because what you're going to find in teams, sometimes what happens is people will pair off or they go in little groups because people share the same idea. But they forget that having those differences of opinion isn't a bad thing. It's okay to have a difference of opinion. It actually can help support decisions and help us think, but maybe we should think about this another way. Encourage team building exercises whenever possible. Let people get to know people as people, not just based on their role, responsibilities, and expectations, that professional side. When we get to know people as people, we can understand where they're coming from. And but one of the biggest things is each team member needs to be aware and very clear on their roles, their responsibilities, and expectations when leaving a meeting and what they must be committed to. Creating milestones where you can touch base with one another to ensure that everyone is on task. And if there's a breakdown in trust or conflict, it should be addressed as soon as possible. Putting aside these conversations because they're uncomfortable can lead to crisis, and a crisis that really could have been averted. Deal with trust issues and conflict as soon as they arise so you can keep those foundations strong. So I want you to think about the analogy of your home. Imagine there's a flood in your basement, and we'll make that your conflict or trust. So, there's a break somewhere in foundation, and it might just be that it was a leak, but I'm using this as an example. Would you just leave it until you're ready to deal with it? Or would you try to deal with it as much as possible, as soon as possible, to prevent any other damage? So these are just examples, the foundation of a home, or what your basement, that's a foundation as well. Whether it be the carpets and all the things you had on the floor, there can be a lot of destruction, and it can be costly. And what we don't realize is that you do have your own personal team. And it includes your doctor, your dentist, your eye doctor, your hairstylist, your banker, your accountant, mortgage broker, realtor, and the list goes on. You need to have trust in them in order to take care of you so that you look good, feel good, and perform at your best. High-performing teams are built on trust. What does trust look like to you? And how much do you know about your team members as a person? How are the individuals like you? And what core values do they share? What is their why for doing what they do? During this process, you will learn that you are more alike than different. I'm going to leave you with this quote by Howard Schultz, who was part of Starbucks. When you're surrounded by people who share passionate commitment around a common purpose, anything is possible. So I want to help you create that strong, winning team built on trust. So think about some of the things the nuggets that you can take away from this podcast and take it back to your team to open the discussion, have that open communication, have people learn about each other, what their goals are, and how you can help support them in making them happen. And then they in turn will do the same for you. We would love for you to subscribe to the Success Secrets newsletter on my website. So you can go over to www.deborahkozowski.com, where you're going to get free MP3 download. It's a 10 surefire strategies to power up your productivity and performance. I would love to hear about how this podcast has impacted your life. So you can email me or go on my website to the Contact Deb page. But otherwise, you can email me at deborah@deborahkozowski.com. And I want to thank you again for listening to the Millionaire Woman Show. We'd love for you to go over to iTunes, give us a 5-star high five, write us a review. Let us know how this show is benefiting you. What would you like to see more of? And please share this with your friends. Because again, it's the principles of leadership, business, and human potential that can help you live rich from the inside out. And as Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change you wish to see in the world, and go out and make today great, everyone. Like to see you on the next podcast. Take care soon.